And this is the fourth video in our short series of short videos. And this video will be on the Mountainside board and in the playbook and role that the Mountainside board that we'll be forming will play. Like we mentioned in the last video, we are looking for people to get involved in a variety of areas in our church. Those ministry areas we mentioned of kids ministry and youth and adult spiritual formation and neighborhood engagement. We're needing people to get plugged into those areas, and you can reach out to the pastoral lead or other people of Mountainside who are involved in those areas to find out more about that. And then we're also going to need to be nominating and establishing a Mountainside board. And we're going to need people to get involved in this way as well. So I just want to walk through what that board will be about, and then I'll do a final video to tell you kind of the process of establishing the board. The board will exist to execute decision-making responsibility that are aligned with discerned priorities. And those priorities will happen at the leadership gatherings that I mentioned in the previous video. So this group will be a part of that discernment, and then we'll be charged with executing decision-making around those priorities. This group will also assume fiduciary responsibility for Mountainside, which is legal and financial responsibility. The values that the board will embody are the same ones we've been talking about. You can see those there. How does the board pursue these values? The board will be charged with maintaining unity in the bond of peace by being mindful of the body while also representing designated areas. So they'll work together as a unit to tend unity in the bond of peace, and they'll also be carrying the hat of representing different areas of our church. Again, this group will assume fiduciary responsibility. This group will care for interests of the church and its work that isn't otherwise provided for in other roles. So as new things come up that we're not structured to handle, this group will be in charge of figuring out how we're going to handle those things. But in terms of adult spiritual formation, kids ministry, etc., those areas will be, the cares and interests of those areas will be covered by other people. So again, we're trying to distribute work. This group will be charged with guarding against mission drift, and then also ensuring implementation of discerned values and priorities. How will the group be faithful? These will be people who are members of our church body per the description in the previous table. They'll participate in monthly board meetings, so we'll have these meetings monthly. They'll exercise practical, prayerful decision-making for Mountainside. And they'll fulfill the job description of the particular position that they are on the board. And then the hope is that they would participate in those leadership gatherings where we discern priorities, and also with membership gatherings. This is where the breakdown of the board is described, and so I want to take a little time on this. First of all, there'll be 4 representative positions on the board, and those will connect with the different ministry areas that we named. So they will fulfill 1 through 4 that we just went over. Then they will be nominated by their ministry area and then selected by that ministry area for a 1-year term. So we'll have 1 representative for kids and family, 1 representative for neighborhood engagement, 1 representative for adult spiritual formation, and 1 representative for youth ministry. And as a part of the board, they'll maintain awareness of boundary crossing relationships in decision making. So once again, those 4 spots will be chosen by their different ministry areas, and you'll be hearing of how to be involved in that if you're involved in those areas right now. Here's some specifics about those different roles, and I'm going to let you read through those, but essentially these people will be tending to the integration of their ministry area into the overall mission and ministry of the church. We will be having 2 positions that are stewards and 3 positions that are trustees. These 5 positions will be nominated and selected nominated by the larger Mountainside body, and for this first board will be selected by the current diaconal. The current diaconal's last act, if you will be to select these 5 positions and organize the board in a way that hits the values that we're hoping for, and then diaconal will be disbanded at that point. But these steward positions, they'll fulfill the board responsibilities that we've mentioned, again nominated by the membership of Mountainside, and they'll be on a 3-year commitment, after which they will take a 1-year sabbatical before being able to rejoin the board if they're nominated and selected. Their work will be to promote participation of the body, so getting all of us as members to serve and to give of our time and our talent and our treasure, find areas where we can use our giftings for the sake of the kingdom. And they'll help enfold members into the work of neighborhood engagement, spiritual formation, congregational formation. These 2 stewards will also tend the well-being of Mountainside staff, and we'll be connecting on best ways to do that, and then just give prayerful attention to mission alignment and the unity of the body. We will have 3 trustees positions, and they too will fulfill the general board responsibilities. They too will be nominated by the membership and selected for a 3-year term, and after a 3-year term, they will take at least a 1-year sabbatical before they can re-enter the board. Their role will be to collaborate with the finance team, give guidance to development of physical facilities and to financial planning. They'll utilize hard skills in service of the functioning of Mountainside. And there's going to be 3 different roles for the trustees. One will be focused on facilities, so being mindful of the facilities, working with Deborah, who our pastor of formation, in overseeing those. The other trustee will be working closely with the IRC and fostering collaboration and integration of the IRC. And then the final trustee will be responsible for focusing in on administration. So how do we think about Mountainside as an integrated system, supporting staff, ensuring human resource compliance, those IT needs, those kinds of things. Just making sure Mountainside's ticking and working with Deborah and myself in doing that. 2 other roles that the board, once it's established, will select from within the Mountainside body, and Diaconal will play a role in this time around. One will be the treasurer, and right now Jen and Jake are serving as the treasurer, doing a phenomenal job. But structurally, this would be someone who, again, fulfills the board responsibilities above, is selected by the board based on gifting and ability. And not just anyone can serve as the treasurer. I don't think I would be a good treasurer, for example, of any organization. But this treasurer would also fulfill the treasurer responsibilities of providing monthly monetary reporting, yearly budgeting processes, advising on legal matters, and monitoring tax and insurance areas. The other position, final position on the board from the membership, will be a lay chair of the board, and this too will be selected by the board from within the membership. This person will fulfill the general responsibilities, again, will be elected by the board from within the membership, and then will fulfill the responsibilities of kind of the functioning and the organization of the board. And they'll work with me, the lead pastor, whoever that might be, to create monthly board agendas, facilitate the meeting, ensure record keeping and meeting minutes, maintaining awareness of long-term goals and initiatives, and assist with orienting new members to the board. From the pastoral team, the lead pastor will be on the board, as well as the pastor of formation, as a way to provide integration between the pastoral team and the board itself. So that's kind of the makeup of the board. If you count it up, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about between 11 to 13 people on the board. And what I want to invite you into even now is to, as you hear this description and the different roles on the board, look this over again, but begin to prayerfully consider who you would nominate to serve Mountainside on this board for the next 2 to 3 years. For this first go around, we'll have a few people on a 1-year term, a few people on a 2-year term, and a few people on a 3-year term. And then as it is established over the next couple of years, it'll be for 1-year terms for the representatives and 3-year terms for the stewards and trustees. But be thinking about who you think might serve in this particular way, our church and our communion, and be thinking about whether you or others would want to serve in kind of the ministry area ways by getting involved in those 4 different ministry areas. Again, questions, contact me, Deborah, other people on Diaconal or the pastoral team. We'd love to talk with you, or the Restructure team for that matter, we'd love to talk to you about that.